Greetings, Light Tribe. Janine Palmer here, Spirit Silverman for Harmony Energy Healing. And I'm doing a post today about our interactions with people and what we learn from them. It used to be that we would just interact with whoever was in our immediate location, family, friends, through school, through school, through work, through whoever was in our neighborhood. And now that area is much broader as far as who we interact with on social media, because everybody's on there. Well, almost everybody's on there, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or whatever, however they're interacting. And so we make friends on there, and those friends can be teachers or tests, because everyone is at different levels of awakening and awareness. Okay, and we don't know what that is, but as we begin to learn and grow in our own awakening and awareness, and what we learn through experiences, and how we learn to release what doesn't serve us, and how we learn to detach and not react in certain circumstances to stay in our power, we might observe behaviors in others that we recognize that we choose not to get drawn into. Okay, so, and I've done videos like this before, and I write about it a lot. But I'm going to keep doing the videos, and I'm going to keep writing about it. I'm going to keep sharing the messages, because that's what I feel I'm supposed to do in my calling. Okay, so as we interact with people, as I said, we're going to notice behavioral aspects or patterns in others or ourselves. Okay, sometimes we can offer something that can be helpful, okay, which is a perspective, because all of our perspectives are limited by our experience, by how we understand them, by what kind of work we've done, by what we carry in the way of burdens or pain or whatever, or resentment, or what we don't carry with regard to those. Some of us are open and flowy, and we observe, and we've learned, and we continue to learn, where we've moved out of like judgment and condemnation to a degree, which is really, really good and so helpful. So when we observe someone acting in a way that we would perceive to be rude, inconsiderate, provoking, unkind, obnoxious, whatever word you would use to describe it or label, you would hang on it in your attempt to understand what it is or call it out for what it is. That's coming from somewhere within the person, whoever the person is, whether they realize it or not. And oftentimes in these behaviors and patterns and habits, they don't even realize it. It's just something that they do. And it could be something they've done since a very young age, or something they've adopted as a type of protection or coping mechanism, probably. So in this arena of social media, where all these little battles are taking place, what do we learn about ourselves through those battles, or through the observation of those battles? And so sometimes we can, like I said, offer a perspective that might be helpful, and people may or may not resonate with that. They may not be open to it. You just have to leave them where they are. But you don't have to be in their space if they're spewing toxic nastiness. You don't have to be there or stay there in that space. So in groups, on pages, interaction with friends, in dialogue, there's a lot of things that aren't understood with texting. Okay, especially if people don't put punctuation in the right place. and autocorrect. Okay, so there's things that don't come out right. They're either read wrong. I've done that. I'll read something real quick and I think it said something, and when I go back and read it later, I thought, oh, that's something else other than what I thought it was. Sorry. You know, so read and reread something. But sometimes our first reaction is to react. You know, that response is reaction. And observe that in yourself, because if a person is doing something, a direct response to something you post, something you say, a comment, a text, whatever, where it feels like it's an attack, and sometimes they are, or that they're attempting to provoke you. Now, some people like to do that. They like to provoke you to get your reaction, because that's your energy that they're taking. And so when you're reacting, you're giving that energy to that person, whether you realize it or not. You're giving your energy away. However, if you react in a certain way, it is reflecting, most likely reflecting something in you that needs to be a weakness that needs to be strengthened, or a wound that needs to be healed. And so your reaction, your reaction reflects that there's something there, you know, possibly, okay, that's an issue, because it's pushing a button, or poking a wound, okay, a sensitive spot. Until we shed skins, or release stuff, or thicken skins, or change our perspective, or take the time to do the healing work within ourselves. So what happens is, sometimes when we actually do this work, because we have an experience with someone that feels really shitty, it feels unfair, it feels bad, it feels fucked up, or whatever. So when we do the work on ourselves and something similar comes around another time to poke us again, then sometimes we'll notice we might not notice if the reaction's just the same, but when that thing happens again and we don't react to it the same way, we can see our progress in where we've healed or strengthened ourselves. So little things I think are going to come back around to poke us again, see how you doing with that this time, you know? And sometimes we might be in groups where we see someone who is acting out in a negative, belittling, provoking, childish, obnoxious, low vibe way. Even if their posts are high vibe, their behavior on the comments says something else entirely. So sometimes you might choose to ignore them if they're pretty mild. Sometimes you might call them on it. Calling a spade, you know, which is like an indirect way to tell someone to like pull their head out or whatever. So sometimes you might have something to say, and hopefully you can do it tactfully, even if it's direct and strong and no nonsense. Because we all learn from it. We all learn from each other. Everyone and everything is our teacher. So you can ignore it. You can respond or react or get drawn in. And sometimes it's not even getting drawn in to just deliver a message. Because other people who are reading it are learning from it too, aren't they? So, but you can choose to disengage. You don't have to hang around in that shit show. So sometimes we're in groups that have a really cool vibe. They have a good energy. They got good stuff going on. And then somebody comes in there that's like, dropping trash. Little piss bombs, or whatever you want to call them. Sometimes you get tired of tripping over the trash. So, again, it's taking the higher road when you just choose to stop engaging there. Not that you don't like the group or the people in the group, but when someone's in there, pretty much like provoking or attacking a bunch of people's posts in belittling ways, if you're paying attention, you can see the woundedness of that person. So you don't have to hold it against them, but you don't have to stay there either, because that energy can affect yours, and it's up to you, and it's all choice, and it's all for the learning in this little playing field of light and shadow Oh, I wanted to say too, I have some friends who do some really beautiful work, and I don't know if you can see this on here, but I don't think the light's not too good. My friend Vicki Lee James makes these beautiful bracelets, and then Kathy Snook makes beautiful necklaces. So Kathy Snook is Red River Creations, and Vicki Lee James is Vicki Lee James. So check them out if you like it. Thanks so much. Blessings, love, and light.